What's up, guys, and welcome to an all new episode of Unwrapped. My name is Daria. I did ayahuasca. I'm enlightened. I'm a new person. Look at the whites of my eye. They're whiter than white. And this
is your beautiful wife,
my beautiful wife,
Toni, and I am in my barista era. Really enjoying this iced Delgado coffee I just made.
I don't know what the hell that is. I saw her with a mixing bowl and a mixer this morning, and I said, "What are you making, babe?" I thought maybe some banana nut muffins or a confetti cake. Two of my favorites. Shout out. Any fans want to send me cakes? Don't send it to my house. No, it was a coffee.
And it's so good.
What?
It is.
What are you mixing in a mixing bowl to make a coffee?
So it is.
It's not computing in my brain.
Instant coffee. I used coconut sugar, but you can use whatever kind of sugar, and a touch of hot water, and you mix it until it foams up. And then you pour milk over ice, and then you just add like a little bit on top. Mix it all up, and then you can freeze the rest.
Is this like a trendy gimmick that you found on the TikToks?
It was, yes, but I heard it was trendy back in 2020. However, I missed the boat on that one. But I'm not doing coffee on the regular anymore, like at all. So,
I haven't had a coffee since 2.5 weeks before we went to Ayahuasca Resort.
So like a month and a half now or so?
Yeah.
Month at least, yeah.
I am caffeine free, no Celsiuses, just little matcha lattes here and there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I'll be this way forever, but right now
feels good, right?
I feel clean. I feel clear.
Yeah.
It's interesting not having any kind of like fixation. Like,
isn't it so nice? I was reading a book. It's called Sacred Contracts.
Yeah.
And like one of the first couple chapters, there's a whole chapter about living through like routine and why you shouldn't be living with a routine, because like it takes living out of it. If you're just living so I'm pitching it the wrong way, but it's like you wake up and you can't do anything till you have a cup of coffee. Then you have to do this, and then you have to do that. And if you like smoke cigarettes, you have to go do that. Like it's living without any routine, and that's how you find like a freedom to just like live each day.
Well, I will say the most routineless I've ever been is right this moment. And it's also the best I've ever felt.
And don't you also feel like you've had the best routine though at the same time?
Yeah, facts. Like everything's getting done. I feel great. I'm going through but like I'm not planning anything out. I'm more just, honestly, it was just a lot of eliminating the shit that's bad for me. And it's like all in moderation, right? Like I'm not going to come home, never eat a potato chip again, never have a sip of Coke, crispy Coke Zero ever again, and no coffee, and no, like,
Yeah, it's all in balance. Yeah.
I got to say though, this is really flipping the script on you. I found the most delicious alcoholic beverage.
Oh my God. As we're talking about being so healthy.
Consume at your own risk. And I'm not a drinker, guys. I drink like 2 times a year. I have the greatest time of my life. I'm a great drinker, but I'm just not a drinker. But me and my dad were on the golf course for Father's Day, and the girl was going around with the cart selling drinks, and my dad he's like, "Oh, I'll take a Cutwater infusion," or something. I don't even know what he said. And I was like, "What are you getting?" And he's like, "You never had one? You gotta try one."
Is it like in a can, like a White Claw?
It's in a can like a White Claw, but it is not anything like it. And we got it on ice. Like we asked for a cup with ice.
Okay.
And it's called Cutwater vodka infusion or something. It's grape juice, ginger beer, vodka. It's the most delicious thing I've ever tasted in my life. It tastes like a grape juice.
Well, you must really love ginger beer because your other favorite drink is a Moscow Mule.
That's true.
So,
but at Moscow Mule, the ginger beer can be kind of potent. Sometimes you really like taste that like in this, it doesn't even taste like it has ginger beer in it. It's just like this it's lovely. I say that, and then I took 2 sips of it and didn't touch it. I'm really not a drinker.
That's how you do everything.
That's how I do. Yeah. Go back to the healthy stuff.
But we're being healthy over here.
It's all about balance. Yeah. Well, I will say this before we get into talking about. We're going to talk about Toni's crazy ayahuasca experience for a couple minutes, not the whole episode. Then we're going to leave you alone with the ayahuasca. But what we really want to talk about today is we want to get into spending time alone and loving spending time alone. Becoming your own best friend. Yeah. I think that that's something that's really powerful. Something I've been trying to do my entire life and I'm still working on. But what's up, guys? I hope you're enjoying this episode of Unwrapped. We are enjoying being here with you guys because, well, we love and appreciate you guys so much. The best way you guys can kind of support us and come along the journey with us is obviously to like and subscribe right here on our YouTube. Let us know in the comment section what you're thinking, what you're feeling, because we do read the comments and we care about you guys. Also, you can head on over to our Patreon account if this isn't enough. We do an extra weekly episode of Unwrapped just for our Patreon subscribers, where we go a little deeper, a little juicier, sometimes talk wrestling and all kinds of other things that are going on behind the scenes. And we do a live Q&A once a month with our Patreon subscribers and a lot more giveaways, ring gear, merch, ring worn suits, all kinds of cool stuff. So head on over to our Patreon account. Link is in the description below. And yeah, hope you enjoy the rest of the episode. I feel like I've picked up some new tips and tricks to go in that direction. Yeah. And I want to talk about it.
It's almost like it feels very intimidating until you get forced to do it enough. And then you're like, oh, wait.
Well, it is. It's one of those things.
It's like breath work. Like no one wants to do it. But then once you do it, you're like, wow, this is amazing. And the more you do it, you realize it's not that hard.
Right. Well, it's like, it's like eating your vegetables. Like I don't want to eat my vegetables, but if my mom makes me eat my vegetables every night, then maybe I start to like the taste of broccoli.
I mean, that didn't happen for you.
No, I still fucking hate them. But the point being, I would have never taken the still time like we've talked about before, never chilled out and done yoga, for pleasure. But, it sounds, a couple times I went with you, I was like, oh my God, staring at the ceiling, like counting like the specks of paint on the wall.
We went and did hot yoga with Phil on like our second time hanging out. Yeah. Or like very early in the beginning. He was like, let's go to hot yoga.
It was his idea, not mine.
No, I know. But we had so much fun.
Oh, because we laughed and talked the whole time.
We did.
I'm not gonna sit there.
Very rude.
Anyway, I don't advise that. And when in a yoga class, it's very rude. But going to this retreat, you're forced into, not forced, but you're put in this programming where it's yoga every day, breath work every day, meditation work every day, a lot of silent time, a lot of time with yourself. So, and they say like you can build a routine, you can build a habit. They say it takes like a month to build a good habit.
21 days, I think.
21 days. We only had 7, but it built a habit in me where I came home and wanted to implement some of the same things.
Yeah.
So I think the key, and I think this about everything, there'll be time periods where like I really don't feel like fucking working out. And then I just go through the motions and I kind of do it, Mm-hmm. And then by like the 3 weeks later, I'm like, oh, I got to work out today. It's part of my routine. Like, it kind of is, it does develop like a sensory in your brain that's like, we like this now.
Mm-hmm.
Flips the switch. All right, babe, break down your ayahuasca journey. Why did you go back a second time? And why did you stay for a second week after I went home?
Yeah, I did. It was so crazy. So they say like every time you do it, like people that have done it 200 times, 300 times, like the only thing you learn is that you know less. Like every about time life. You do it. No, about like yes, but like also like about what ayahuasca is and what it's capable of and whatever. The more times you do it, the less you know. And it's so true. And like I went into, our trip like all confident, like I know exactly what to expect, And then I never felt the medicine the whole first week we were there.
So she never felt the medicine Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, Thursday. Which
did you feel it? You felt it Thursday a little?
No, remember I woke up crying. I was like, I never felt it the whole night.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
No, and you know what? It's crazy because they say like in the off occasion that a guest comes and then decides last minute to stay another week. It's almost like the universe already knew you were going to be there that second week, so everything was aligned perfectly. And that's like what they say there, like everything is perfect as it should be. And it's so weird. We only specifically went there that week for Taita Juanito, who is like the most famous, everyone's favorite shaman ever.
He's like the gods of the shamans.
Yeah. And he's only there once in a blue moon, not often. And we went for his week. And then Saturday afternoon came and we found out he was going to actually be there a second week in a row.
Which
like
the following week,
which has never happened before. And the second week was fully booked. The whole place was fully booked. And I went and spoke with someone that was able to find me a room that was offline. It was called and like put off to the side or whatever. So they were able to like get me in super last minute. Found me I was like, I'll sleep on the grass. I don't even care. But so like Saturday night, they were able to get me a room.
Here's my question. Why did you feel so pulled to stay a second week?
I think I actually knew earlier in the week I was going to be staying a second week and I didn't know Taita was going to be there. I never mentioned it out loud. I never anything, but I think it was like Tuesday night or Wednesday night. We were in ceremony and it was 1:00 in the morning and I wasn't feeling anything. And I was just sitting there and I was okay with not feeling anything because my first trip, I didn't feel anything Monday, Tuesday or Wednesday. It wasn't until Thursday night that I got everything. So I was okay with not feeling it, but I was like, I almost feel like I'm meant to stay another week.
Interesting.
And if Taita wasn't there, I would have never stayed another week.
Because you love going for tight tonight.
Yeah, I would have not even. And their other shamans are great that are Thursday night shamans because that's like their bigger ceremony. But like, I only want to, for some reason, I'm just very pulled to him and only doing it with him.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. So when I found out it was him and then they were able to get me a room, I was like, this is just meant to be. And then I ended up having an amazing week. Again, my biggest revelations again came all Thursday with him. But Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday was different. I like wasn't feeling the medicine, but I felt her. I didn't feel drunk. So you like feel drunk when you get up to like walk to the bathroom, right? You're like wobbly and like things are, you know, off balance, distorted. Yeah. I didn't feel that, but I felt her in me and I was talking to her all week and I was like, I feel you. Why won't you answer me? And I was like getting angry. By Wednesday, I was like angry at her. I'm like, I feel you right there. Why are you ignoring me? That's what I kept saying. Like, you're right there. Why are you not responding back and forth with me? I feel you there. And then Thursday night, I go through, you know, like hell, like everything I thought I knew coming into it and I'm prepared. I'm not going to be freaking out. I'm not going to be scared. No, I was like scared shitless on the bathroom floor for hours, I think. You don't know time in there, but like it was scary. And afterwards she was like, see, Toni, that's why I didn't respond to you all week. You had to learn to trust yourself. And I was like, mind blown. I was like, oh my God, I'm telling all the helpers. I'm like, she didn't answer me all week because I had to trust myself. This is the way I'm like talking. It was so funny. And then I saw some crazy visions. Maybe we'll talk about like at a later date, but some like really fun, insightful stuff for like the future, like future visions. So we'll see if they come true. Then you will all hear about it.
We have it all documented, guys, because the visions she had were like
so profound and insane
and very specific and tied to things that she wouldn't know about. So like it's crazy, but we documented it all and we're going to put it together in a video.
And if and when it comes true, it will blow the world's mind on ayahuasca.
Yeah, it'd be crazy. Greatest story ever told, but
it will be the greatest story ever told.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my pull to want to stay. I also think that I'm very much an introvert and like speaking of like having to like be alone.
Yeah.
I think the first week I was there, I was so excited. You were there for the first time. Yeah. I felt like so confident because I had been there before. I was chatting with everybody. Like all the guests really chat like a lot.
Yeah, you become friends with almost everybody
like,
there.
Mealtime, it's like communal tables and stuff. So you're sitting with everyone and chatting. And then you're by the pool and you're chatting. And then you're going to class and you're sharing. And like, then I was like worried about you so much like during ceremony and I'm such an introvert that I think that I wasn't able to even the helpers in the Maloka at night during ceremony drink the medicine. Mm-hmm. But their intention when they drink is I am here to serve. So they don't really so much go through their own stuff and like see their, like sometimes they do a little bit, but like they put their intention in the cup the same way we do. Like my intention is blah, blah, blah to serve. I really feel like my intention for that first week there was more like, my intention is to make sure you have a good experience. Whereas then the second week, I didn't even meet really anybody. I spoke to a couple of the girls that were there the second week, but I really stuck to myself like almost the entire time. The only time I chatted was like in the Maloka, you get there at 5:30 and the ceremony doesn't start till 7. You sit on your mattress and you kind of chat with everyone around.
You're allowed to talk for like the first hour. And then once they start serving the medicine,
then no more. So that was really when I would be chatting with someone because you can't bring anything in with you. You don't have anything. You're just sitting on a mattress in the light. It's still light out because people are still funneling in and everyone's talking and whatever. So like, I don't really know anyone's name even from the second week because I spent so much alone time. And I really just like made it a point. I was just like walking all day, like alone, sitting in my room alone, reading, like journaling a lot. I filled out the entire workbook the second week I was there where we didn't really fill it out at all. Yeah. Every single question I filled out and I have notes front to back. Every single page is covered.
Wow.
So, because I didn't have a journal. So like that became my journal.
Spending that much time with yourself in silence, do you think it's a learned behavior? Like prior to ayahuasca, were you able to do that with yourself and enjoy it?
Well, I think I've always been an introvert, but no. And something actually happened at my first time going there that stayed with me till today. And it was walking into ceremony, you know, like they tell you like you're going to sit there in silence. Like once you take the first cup of medicine, you can't speak and they don't start music and like people don't start like throwing up and the sounds and, you know, all the chaos around you starting for like an hour to 2 hours. And you sit it's dark and you're just sitting in your mattress. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, oh my God, this is going to be torture. how am I going to sit here? And they want you to sit still because they want the medicine to be able to like run through you. So you're supposed to like just sit still and not move. And I'm like, this is torture. And I said it to somebody, this woman I met that had been there multiple times, and she was older and she was like so wise. And she goes, if being alone with yourself is the scariest part of this, that's the bigger issue you have to deal with. And not like that's not exactly how she said it, but it always stayed with me, because then that fourth night you sit in silence for the first 3 hours.
Yeah.
That's hard.
But that's facts. Like, that's so true. Like, if sitting with yourself in silence is scary to you, or hard, or that difficult, or intimidating.
Yeah. And I think it's so many reasons, right? We're scared of our own feelings. We're scared of our own mind, but also we're too overstimulated with everything else. So like,
everything,
it makes it you're sitting still, too much stillness. Your brain is used to now being overstimulated at all times. It's like panicking almost, like I need something, which is that's sad.
That's the product of our generation. Like this modern world we live in, it's very much a product of constant dopamine spikes, constant instant gratification, everything at the touch of our fingertips. Like, and I'm not saying that's all bad, because obviously we're a high functioning society, and a lot of the things we do, we need these traits for. So I'm not saying it's all bad, but when not in moderation, and we don't also have that stillness with ourselves, we're going so far away.
It's like, are you even living?
Well,
do you know who you are?
That, but also we're drifting so far away from our original soul that we were born with, like who we were meant to be in our connection.
Do you feel like that's why everyone these days is like, I feel lost? I have to go travel the world because I feel lost and find who I am. Like, who you are is here.
No. Yes, 100%. And we'll get into that. But I here's the problem. You could never know who you are in this society if you're living this high speed lifestyle, because you're never with yourself.
Right.
You're always on FaceTime, on a work meeting, playing a video game, on the phone, scrolling social media nonstop for that instant gratification, that dopamine spike. So
even just like I'm not a big phone person, but for me, it's like going through my to-do list all day long and making, like, as soon as I finish one thing, it's on to the next. It's like always trying to be stimulated, but like in a different way. But like everyone does it to an extent now.
I mean, everything, like drinking alcohol, smoking weed, like everything is a vice. Everything is a little bit of something to make us feel something.
Even shopping online. That's like a huge dopamine thing we've been talking about a lot lately.
Someone close to us has a serious online shopping addiction. It like worries us, because we're like, oh my God, if they're not sitting there scrolling on the phone shopping, they're on social media. If they're on social media, like they need that like constant, like, whatever it is to their brain. And it's like, you don't realize how far from ourselves we are until you step back and do something like we just did, like the retreat. But it's
so good. Wait, I want to bring this full back circle, because this started because you asked me about spending alone time, and did I used to do that before ayahuasca? So that was my experience on my first trip. It was torture for me every single night. This time around, I almost like looked forward to it, and the time went like that.
Yeah.
But I will say, in the meantime, in between my 2 trips of going there, I've spent a lot more time sitting in silence alone. Like I'll come upstairs sometimes and just sit on our bed, or like sit on the floor in front of our bed, and it'll be like a meditation. You can call it whatever you want, but I will just sit there, and I could sit there for a long time.
So here's my thing. The lesson we got was from going to Rhythmia and doing ayahuasca, but for like people listening that's not like feasible or realistic to, I don't think it had this lesson. I don't think had a lot to do with ayahuasca as much as it did just
doing it,
just the eye-opening experience. So like for you guys like listening at home, I think especially people in relationships, sometimes you morph into one. Right. And you guys are like doing everything together. You maybe go to the gym together, you work together, you work out together, whatever it is. Like sometimes your lives blend.
I don't know if that's more, I don't know.
As common as we think, but
that's our life.
That's our life. I'll give our personal experience. It was getting to a point where I didn't know what I wanted anymore, because I felt like we were mending into one. Mm-hmm. And kind of losing a little bit of our
individual. And we were just doing what had to get done. It wasn't even like we were doing things that necessarily filled our cup.
And I feel like now a big message to me was like realizing I really do like alone time, and Toni really does like alone time. Mm-hmm. And we weren't taking it because just the thought, I was like, oh, I don't want to be away from her.
Yeah.
But you like need it sometimes. Like your soul needs it. Like
even just to really like, people ask me and they're like, we've talked about hobbies on here before. And I'm like, I don't really have any. Or like, what would make you the happiest? Like, what could you do today that would make you the happiest? I'm like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Like, that's sad.
But I think it's like the distance from your inner self and like your exterior self. Like there's a distance.
There's a quote that they say all the time at Rhythmia that I feel like we should talk about more on here. The farthest journey you will ever take, because you just said something to something. Yeah. The farthest journey you will ever take is from your head to your heart.
100%.
And that almost like
that's exactly what I'm encompassing. Like that said much better, of course. That's it.
I didn't make it up. I'm not copywriting. I'm copying.
Whatever. Yeah. That's it right there. Because it's like, getting back to who you are on the inside and having that individuality still and having that time for yourself. And for me, I'm going to tell you mine. Mine are going to the gym by myself. I thought going to the gym with Toni was great and we had so much fun at the gym together. But when I started going by myself, I actually realized it's like a vice of mine. I actually enjoy it more. Not enjoy it more, but I need it.
It's filling a different cup.
It's filling a different cup.
Yeah.
And it's not filling our togetherness cup because that's still, it's still work. It's still something we have to do. That gets filled more like out to dinner,
Well, it comes to quality over quantity of time together, which is another thing we could save for another time. But
what's up, guys? I hope you're enjoying this episode of Unwrapped. We are enjoying being here with you guys because, well, we love and appreciate you guys so much. The best way you guys can kind of support us and come along the journey with us is obviously to like and subscribe right here on our YouTube. Let us know in the comment section what you're thinking, what you're feeling, because we do read the comments and we care about you guys. Also, you can head on over to our Patreon account if this isn't enough. We do an extra weekly episode of Unwrapped just for our Patreon subscribers, where we go a little deeper, a little juicier, sometimes talk wrestling and all kinds of other things that are going on behind the scenes. And we do a live Q&A once a month with our Patreon subscribers and a lot more giveaways, ring gear, merch, ring worn suits, all kinds of cool stuff. So head on over to our Patreon account. Link is in the description below. And hope you enjoy the rest of the episode. I feel like just, making that alone, even like going to get my nails done by myself sometimes, just like sitting there.
I love doing stuff alone.
Yeah, same. Sushi dates alone is one of my favorite things. I'll go get a little sushi roll, sit there.
I feel like I've actually heard people talk about this before, like going to the movies by themselves.
I would do it.
I've never done it, but I feel like this is something that's definitely been talked about, but I don't think it's talked about enough. It's like we, as a society, I feel like need to fill where everyone lives like in the mindset of like, there's not enough hours in the day. I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. And I feel like that's like probably the biggest gift that could come to society. I feel like would be a shift in that mindset.
You know what argument I love? I don't know if you've ever seen these memes floating around on the internet, but like people will be like, I don't have enough time to go to the gym, or I don't have enough time for date night with my wife. And then it shows their screen time in their settings.
Yeah.
And it's like 9 hours of social media. And it's like, yo, if you want a wake up call about, and people can make arguments
check
like
your friggin' screen time.
I'm scrolling social media while I'm doing something else. 9 hours of doing something. Listen, first of all, you shouldn't be multitasking that much. Second of all, you can work out anywhere. Working out, like just going to the gym and pumping iron is like an overrated thing. That's the only way. Going for a walk around the neighborhood, doing jumping jacks and push-ups in your hotel room. I mean, like,
well, listen, we all make time for the things we want to make time for.
Facts.
You have like the busiest person in the entire world, but then they smoke cigarettes. Like,
yeah,
like you go outside, it's what, 5-10 minutes, and you do that 10 times a day. Like that's over an hour you just spent sitting outside.
Facts.
But like you don't have time to sit with yourself for 10 minutes before bed and meditate. Yeah, or do that. That's,
you know what
terrible.
I mean? Like, but there's ways. Bethany Frankel talks about, I love Bethany. Bethany Frankel talks about like fitness and health and how like in her mind and her journey, like it's such a different thing. She's like, sometimes I don't work out for 3 months at a time, but I'm walking on the beach every day with my dog, or I'm, I go up and down my stairs, I swim in my pool, like whatever, like fitness and health.
Well, I haven't worked out in so long, but
Fair.
I'm so active.
Fair.
Like I'm hauling stuff out to the sand the other day. I hauled like 10 bags of sand out to the chicken coop for the gardening. Like when you're just being active,
active fitness like that, like everyday fitness is my favorite kind. I took the kids rock climbing a week ago, and I was sore for like 4 days after, and like they had the greatest time of their lives, and we had so much fucking fun, and like, playing basketball outside with Giovanna, like that's the kind, like I love that. When I'm sick of the gym, Toni can attest to this, I will go play basketball outside for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
You know how many calories I probably burn? Probably more than I would have in the gym.
Yeah.
Arguably. Yeah. So like it's okay to switch it up. It's okay for it to look different. I feel like we try to fit in the confines of like, you must go to the gym every day.
It's so weird. I know we're like going off, like one thing just led to another, but now I want to go off on this one. And it's like when you start doing something, you almost feel like you have to put a label on it and stick to it. Like I go to the gym or whatever. And I'm just thinking in the beginning of this conversation, we were talking about alcohol. Yeah. And like, I don't drink really. And we like had a wedding last week and everyone was wasted and having so much fun. And I love that. And I was like, maybe I'll have a glass of wine so I can like maybe relax a little bit. And I had my one glass and I was like, I don't like anything about this. I can't do it. And I was like disgusted. And I was like, I just can't do it. Yeah. But now I'm like, well, I don't want to say I don't drink because now it puts me in a box of I don't drink alcohol.
Right.
And I don't like it. I love it for you. When you are drunk, it's my favorite thing in the entire fucking world.
I'm a great drunk, guys.
Yeah. That was the other thing. I'm making a note of it so we don't forget.
I already know.
Video.
I already thought of it.
Yeah, it's so weird. You just put yourself like in a box of all these things. But I feel like if we could just live without those.
That's living in the public world though. That's iPhones and that's social media, because before you just were who you were, like, but everything is like,
now
I gotta post about
needs
it.
A label.
If I don't post that I went to the gym every day, people are gonna be like, oh, does she even work out?
Right.
And that's that. Well, and it's not even, I don't even blame them, because our perception of who people are is through your social profile.
Right.
If you don't post about your chickens and your ducks, and I go over your house one day and I see chickens and ducks, I'm like, wait, you have a farm?
Yeah.
I had no idea you were into farming.
Right.
It's like, what? I'm obsessed with chickens and ducks. Like, but the way they know you is via social media.
Well, that's why I used to hate social media. I actually think I've really started enjoying it just recently, these last few months. But if you like go back on my Instagram from like a year ago, like every time I would post, it'd be like once every 4 months, and it would be like my struggle with social media, because I really felt like my social media like was not an accurate representation of me. Now I feel like it is so much more,
right,
and so much more like real or whatever. But yeah, back then I used to really hate it because they all serve a purpose. Like when I first met you, your social media was like model pics because you were modeling. Well, that's my point.
You were getting paid. You were a paid model. Like you were doing really cool like wedding shoots and stuff like that, and like you still do sometimes. So I feel like it served a purpose. But as a personal social media account, like you want to just portray who you are. It's like, yeah, you're at home with the chickens and the ducks, taking care of the kids and the house and the stuff. And
my ayahuasca stuff.
Yeah, and your ayahuasca.
I know it sounds so weird, but I think it was such a pivotal thing in my life that it does come up on a daily basis for me, because it changed like so many things about my outlook on life and everything.
Yeah.
So much bigger than like going and drinking a psychedelic. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, important to know that neither one of us had done a psychedelic prior to going. So it's not like a thing that we do or a thing that we're even into.
I just said, guys, I don't even like to drink. But however, on a random note, and we'll let you guys know if we ever go, we did get reached out to by another
resort
plant medicine place in Mexico that just does straight up DMT, which is a chemical that gets released into your body when you're born and when you die.
Which is also what ayahuasca is.
Also what ayahuasca is, yeah. But this is just like you smoke it and you just like smoke straight up DMT. So there's no bad side effects. There's no bad trip. It's only good. It like shoots you to the moon like in the best way.
Oh, God.
That and mushrooms, right? They do? Those two.
I think so.
So I don't know if we're ever going to go to do that.
We're gonna like turn into Joe Rogan right now and full blown go down the psychedelic train.
Yeah,
he's done like everything in the. I gotta go back now that I'm slightly educated on psychedelics.
You want to hear, right? I've never even listened to him.
Oh my God, it's very fascinating. He's done like all the things and done research on all the things, and he has guests on his podcast that have done all the things, and so they're always talking about it, and I would always kind of like fast forward through that part of the episode because I'm like, I don't know what he's talking about.
Because it feels like, I think for so many people in the world, it feels like such a far off thing. You don't realize that it's so tangible and it could make such a difference to, I really feel like like the world.
You sound like you're preaching now.
I'm a really big believer in it. Yeah, I really am. But
I mean, it's helped you in a lot of ways.
Listen, guys, there is a documentary. I'm watching it right now. I did already read the book. now I'm watching the documentary.
Is actually sick.
It's called How to Change Your Mind, and it's on Netflix, and it's all about every episode is about a different psychedelic.
I didn't mean that one. I thought you were going to talk about the Lost Children. That's a cool one.
Yeah, Lost Children.
On Netflix? Mm-hmm. Lost Children on Netflix is really cool.
I think we talked about it on here actually way back in the beginning when we talked about ayahuasca for the first time, but that's a really good one too, yeah.
But going back to our original conversation of how to enjoy alone time and to become your own best friend, I'm going to give you guys a challenge. Do a little weekly challenge. I'm going to challenge each one of you, whether you're in a relationship or you're single or whatever, you have roommates, you live with your sister, your mom. Take yourself out to lunch. Take yourself out to lunch one day this week. Just you and yourself. Mm-hmm. Just sit there and be aware. Don't be on your phone the whole time. Like, say hi to the waitress. Maybe make small talk with the bartender or the guy making your burrito at Chipotle or whatever. Like, just be super present, like head up, like, and like enjoy it. And let us know what you think. And maybe you already do this. A lot of you probably already do this. But I'm not talking about like sprinting into a Chipotle on your 15-minute lunch break, at work.
Right. I'm talking like it's intentions. Remember, everything goes back to like, what is the intention behind this?
Do it intentionally.
Or if you can spend a morning, like my intention for this morning is to be my own best friend and go do whatever you fucking want to do. I like that. I'm going to give a goal of mine right now. Toni and I have talked about it before. I've been meditating since coming back from my ayahuasca experience. So my intention is to wake up every morning and meditate for 10 to 15 minutes before I start my day so that I can have clear, defined goals and intentions for the day and kind of just align myself before the chaos starts. That's mine. What's yours? Give an intention for the week. I think my intention for this week is something I wanted to do while we were away, but I forgot until we were actually having this conversation. And it's to just make an intention for I'll start with each day. I was going to say each thing I do, but for each day, I feel like is a good start. And I feel like it's something I have to write down so I don't forget, because you wake up and your alarm goes off and you're groggy and you got to go start doing all the things. But I really feel like intentions, that one chat we listened to from Kim while we were there,
right,
it was all about intentions. And I feel like that's a good one. She would say that like when she dropped her kids off at school in the morning before they would get out of the car, she would be like, what are your intentions for today? And they would have to like give an intention. And I feel like it makes you so much more mindful in like what you're doing and being present.
Well, just like think about it. Like, all right, let's simplify it, right? Let's break it down because my mind needs it simple. Let's say I'm going into my gym to work out. And if I set the intention that let's make it simple. Like I want to build sick calf muscles. Like that's my one intention for that workout. Mm-hmm. And then I just center everything else around that. Mm-hmm. Right. And I focus everything on the exterior, on the back, on the glutes, the hamstrings, and the calves. Like how much
better of a workout
simpler is my workout going to be? How much more straightforward is my goal going to be? And it sounds so dumb, but it's like that's all it is just changing your mindset and adding that intention in there so that you can have a clear, defined outcome. Mm-hmm. I like this.
It's even like waking up in the morning. I'm like trying to think about now like what my intention would be for like an entire day. I'm like, all right, my intention is to treat my body with grace and love today and feed it foods that fuel it good and be easy on myself and gentle.
Okay.
Like think about, and then all day, like you start getting cranky and things start getting crazy and you come back to that intention and it's just like reminds you to just like
chill the fuck out. Yeah. Everything's going to be okay.
Yeah. I feel better even just after this conversation, after hourly, like saying these things,
You know what my intention is for today? I'm going to switch up the tone of this for a second.
I'm scared.
One of our children who shall not be named was practicing volleyball on the side of our house and put the volleyball right through one of our windows on the side of our house. Okay. And then,
I was in the chicken coop and I just hear glass shatter and I come out and she's like, oh,
okay.
Come on.
What else did she do? What was the other thing?
Well, last night she brought chips and hummus up to her room and you were like, you better bring that back down when you're done. She's like, I promise I will. It's still sitting in there.
Yeah. Well, that's every day.
She was trying to turn the pool heater on.
That's all right. Big deal in my house. No. What the fuck was that?
I'm so sorry. For those of you only listening, I took a sip of my coffee.
Oh my God. It was like,
I'm so sorry. Because I'm at the bottom. Sorry.
So nobody touches the pool heater in this house but me.
Well, technically me because it's only on my phone.
Okay, Toni, by my advice, because she would have it on all summer. and not even know.
By your advisement, yes.
Yeah, my advisement, because it, you know, if you guys know you have an electric pool heater on your pool, it makes your electric bill thousands of dollars a month, and it's disgusting. So we turn it on when we need it, when we have a party or when it's really chilly, you know, chilly and they want to go in the pool still. But like for the most part during the summer, you don't really need it. Let me tell you, she was trying to turn the pool heater on while I was away, and her sister ratted on her. Oh, I was so mad. I handled it very good. I said, babe, did you try to turn the pool heater on? And she knows, like, we've talked about this. Like, guys, no one touches the pool heater but Daria. Like, I'll decide when it goes on. She's like, yeah.
Immediately knew.
Immediately she knew. And I was like, babe, why? I told you, like, don't mess with me. I won't mess with you.
And even the babysitter was like, are you allowed to be doing that? And she was, would Daria care? And she was like, no, she won't care. Lied right to her face.
Little savage.
Yeah.
So that's my intention.
What is your intention?
Is to figure out what, you know, I don't want to say a punishment. It's not that.
Consequence.
A consequence, a natural, organic consequence for these things that are just costing me hundreds, thousands of dollars over here.
Yeah.
I will tell a story. When I was probably around her age, I was playing lacrosse the same way she was against my garage door. My garage had these window panes at the top of it. And, at my dad's house, and I was, you know, bouncing it off, and I was doing it for like hours. It was like one of my last throws, and I throw it went right through the garage window, and I was like,
so what was your consequence with him?
I don't really remember.
Probably nothing.
I remember going to him like hysterically crying and being like, I'm so sorry. And he was like, Jesus fucking Christ. You know, he probably like flipped out for a second. And then, yeah. But I, you know, my upbringing, it's more like,
see, my parents wouldn't have done anything. My dad would have been like, well, guess I got to fix a window. That would have been it.
Interesting.
Extent of it.
So,
Yeah.
but then you would get in big trouble for other kinds of things.
It was they had the weirdest system in the entire world.
So it's not like I want to replicate how we grew
They would
up.
like I would get in trouble for like getting home at 9:02. I would lose my car for an entire month if my curfew was 9:00.
That's wild.
Like I got stopped at a red light a little too longer than I expected. Like, and then I would lose my car for a whole month. But,
wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And you weren't allowed to have sleepovers. Like you had strict rules.
Yeah.
Growing
Like
up.
they didn't set me up for life at the fuck hall. But I knew if my curfew was 9, be home at 9, not 9:01.
Interesting. I had like no rules, but we'll get in trouble for like, you know, stuff like that.
No, so it was like literally the opposite. Like if I had friends over, we would destroy the entire house and my mom would just go clean it. Like,
no.
See, whereas your house, it was like,
no.
You leave it the way you found it. Like he's not fucking cleaning up after, well, neither of your parents are cleaning up after you. Nothing.
See,
but then you're like, have freedom and allowed to do whatever you want. So we were literally raised opposite.
I think, well, listen, I don't think either are perfect, but you three, bro, let me just break this down. My kids throw a party at my house and then I clean it up. Are you nuts? Over my dead body. We just had a party over the weekend. And the first thing I said, it was an adult and a kid party. Mm-hmm. So of course I'm going to help clean the dishes.
She's only 9. It was the 9-year-old's party. I mean, she's 9. I'm talking like when we're 15 and stuff. Yeah.
But even that, we got up the next morning and I said, okay, you downstairs, go fold all the blankets. You put away the horses you guys pulled out.
You told Valentina to bring out all the recycling. We had a mound of recycling by the front door. And then you left to go golfing.
Yeah.
She was like, Mom, I have to bring out all of this recycling. I'm like, all right, well, Giovanna can help you. You guys can do it together. She goes, no, Daria said she has to clean up the basement. I have to bring out the recycling. I'm like, all right, so go bring it out. She's like, but it's monsoon raining. And I was like, I don't care. Bring it out before she gets home or you're dead. She had to make like 6 trips in the rain up and down. Oh my God. And our driveway's half a mile long.
No, it's not half a mile long. You
Quarter? How much?
Baby, like a 20th of a mile. Do you know how long a mile is?
400 feet there in box. That's 800 feet.
Baby.
Per trip. Yeah. So that's a quarter of a mile. Half a mile.
Going around the school track 4 times is 1 mile. If you expand that track into a straight line, our driveway's not even that long.
Okay, so maybe it's like 200 feet each way. So it's 400 feet.
It's not long.
In the rain. Every time she had to go up like 5 or 6 times.
Sure. I love that.
She was soaking wet.
I love it. No,
I liked it too.
She
did it and she didn't even complain.
She had a smile on her face. Yeah. And I came home and she's like, Daria, I took out all the recycling. I'm like, hell yeah. Like, and this is my thing. Like, I don't ever punish the kids. Like, there's very little punishment in this house aside from like taking away the iPad or the phone. But I'm very big on like, I want the kids to be so motherfucking self-sufficient. I want them to be so independent and strong-willed and confident. And I think that confidence comes from self-worth. Self-worth comes from hard work. And that's kind of like what I believe in. And so my little bit of parenting that I've implemented since coming into their lives is just like, you know, just like be accountable, like be responsible. Like if you mess something up, you fix it. If, you know, I take out the garbage cans because they're heavy and that's my job. And the kids usually do the recycling together. They're empty boxes. It's easy, you know? And like, we're a team. And I want them to, that's how I want them to operate. You know, I want them to be tough. I want them to be smart and durable and be able to like, you know, fend for themselves. And that's not to say that that's not to say that I'm against them finding someone someday that takes care of them and takes care of all those things. But I want them to come into it as a mutual partner and understand that not to be entitled and not to expect everything to be done for them, you know, by any kind of partner or situation.
Yeah.
And I think,
and I don't want to be their maid anymore. So there's that.
and to be honest, the real truth of the matter is I'm sick of hearing my wife complain about how she cleans up after all of us. And I'm like, hey babe, there's this really crazy thing. It's called asking people to do things for you. The kids and me can participate, but when you don't let us, then no one can help you. But all you have to do is say, kids, clean your...
And I'm like, can't you just read my fucking mind and like go clean the floors?
Well, we've said this before. Your toxic trait is wanting something but not knowing how to ask for it.
I have terrible communication
and
skills.
then getting mad that it doesn't get done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, we just jumped from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, wait, you were gone that week. I was alone with the kids for a week.
Yeah.
I'm not going to toot my own horn, but tell them what you witnessed when you came back. Honestly.
No, honestly, the house was like run different. And I was kind of like, I think I should leave again. This is 10,000 times better. How come you're not losing your mind cleaning up after everybody?
Because I never did.
Yeah. Although, I mean...
Oh, go ahead. Throw in your one jab. What do you got?
No, I don't think that I have any. I just... I don't know. I don't think that I have any because you also like cleaned out a lot of things. Like, no, you did a lot of things. My whole thing was like, how come you don't do this when I'm home?
You don't let anybody.
Not true. If you took out the vacuum and you started fucking vacuuming, I would be like, all right, let me give this example and then we're going to wrap it up here.
I'm going to give so many examples of how you've corrected stuff that I've tried to do.
She says that I control everything.
Facts.
I'm like, no, it's just when it comes to house shit, I'm smarter. So we had a party on Saturday in the house. It was supposed to be out by the pool party. However, it was raining, of course, and cold. So we were like, all right, we got to set this shit up inside. So I got the kids some crafts super last minute to give them something to do when they're inside in the rain, you know, all these little kids, right? So we have like a game room off to the side that we never really use, but it's got white furniture in there and it's nice, pool table, whatever. So I got all these beads and I set it all up in there nice for them so that they could go in there and do that. The parents could all hang out and chat like in the main part of the house. So as I'm cleaning and like setting everything up, Daria just like brings up a fucking big ass folding table from the basement and goes and puts it in the game room. And I'm like, hey, I don't want to control anything, but what are you thinking with this folding table right here? And she was like, to put all the food on. And I'm like, well, I don't want any kids eating food in here. And the parents are all going to be out there in the dining room. So like, let's put the food out in the dining room. She's like, all right, well then they can all do their beads and crafts on it. I'm like, all right, except we only have 2 folding chairs. So like, where is everyone going to sit? I would rather them all just sit on their towels and blankets and everything on the floor and do the beads on the floor. Then we won't have them like spilling and rolling everywhere and being everywhere. And I was like, but I don't want to control everything, you know? And then she fucking took that big ass folding table, aggressively bringing it down the stairs, fucking hitting it into because she has to bring it back to the basement. So she's like hitting every basement wall.
I just hold it up 2 flights of stairs. And she's like, so it was a touchy subject.
Well, because she didn't even like ask me first. I'm like,
because you already talked about the folding table the day before when we were having the party outside.
When we were going to put it by the pool and everyone was going to be out by the pool the whole time. Okay. Then you put a folding table to put the food on. Yeah, sure. See what's happening here?
You baby.
So like, I don't want to be controlling, but like, I just think things through in a more mom way. You know, the way moms do.
But let's go back to the results. How was the house running when you came home?
It was great.
How were the kids?
Better. Yeah. No, I give it to you.
So-
and you made some pretty the most amazing steak I've ever had in my entire motherfucking life.
Thank you.
And she was like, do you want to, the girls were like, can you make a steak again? Can you make a steak again? Because she made them a steak when I was gone. And then she's like, babe, do you want a steak too? And I was like, no, it's okay. I'll have my like grilled chicken or whatever. And then you made the steak and I was like, let me try it. It looks amazing. And
she ate my whole steak.
It was the best steak. I don't understand what you fucking did. It was so good. I can't even stop talking about my mouth watering.
I gotta gatekeep the recipe.
And I didn't even want to eat red meat anymore because before you go to ayahuasca, you can't have any red meat for a month. So we hadn't been eating like that. And I was like, I think I'm gonna just, it feels better on my stomach. My stomach feels so good right now. I don't want to put anything back in it that's gonna hurt it. So I didn't even get a whole one. I'm like eating like little bits off of everyone's plate, like trying to eat around the fat because it was so
I make
good.
a pretty fire steak.
Oh my God, it was so good.
Maybe I should make it tonight.
But it's so weird. You've made steak in the past, and I remember like not love it. I think I don't know the way you made it on the Blackstone. When you've made steak inside, it was not the same.
Well, inside's never the same.
No,
I got it down pat now. I made it twice.
Steak
and
today, please.
We can go get it.
Okay.
I made it twice, and the steak was from different grocery stores, so it wasn't the actual steak. It was,
but it was still good quality steak. It wasn't like
they're both good.
Stop and Shop.
One was Trader Joe's and one was ShopRite.
Right. Oh no,
Wegmans.
One
was Wegmans. One was Trader Joe's. Yeah. So both good quality steaks. Regardless, I'm a pro.
Amazing, like salty and like kind of crispy on the outside, but so like butter on the inside.
Maybe I'll do an episode and I'll give out the secrets.
Oh my God. So good. So fucking good. I'm starving now. And I wasn't even hungry. I don't know what's happening.
We do have to go grocery shopping, so we're gonna get some steaks. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it there. We love you guys and we really appreciate you joining us on another episode of Unwrapped. I'm Daria.
And I'm Toni. And we'll see you guys next time.
Next Thursday.
Yep. But if you haven't already, or if you need more content of us, feel free to check out our Patreon. It's going to be listed in the description down below. We do an extra bonus episode on there every single week, along with extra bonus fun wrestling content and things like that on there. We also do a live Q&A once a month with you guys. And there's a community chat where we can talk all the things all the time.
All the time.
Yes. All right, guys. Until next time.